We're now joined by J.J. Joe, former Baylor quarterback, Baylor radio analyst, sick of 365 and 365 Sports. J.J., what do you remember about those weeks when you played Texas when you were there?
Coach Tapp probably can just attest to this, but Smoak, when we played specifically the Aggies and the Longhorns, the fight song, Coach Tapp would play this fight song over the Floyd Casey Stadium speakers the entire week. So Monday, and we used to practice on Monday. So Monday through Thursday, that's all we heard. So by the time we got to the ball game, we hated that song. And imagine for 4 years hearing that during Texas week. So that's what I remember, Smoak. We had a pretty good record when I was there against UT, but I remember more than anything the practices leading up to the game.
He was always doing something.
Had you mad at the band?
Yeah, like you wanted to kick a pylon or something like that, or the goalpost. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's Coach Tapp for you.
This game in particular, with Texas coming off a 2-game losing streak, do you think that makes them more dangerous than if they were maybe even off of a 2-game winning streak?
I'm not going to say it makes them too dangerous. I think they're more dangerous. I think they're dangerous anyway. This team, as I've looked at, I saw some of the Oklahoma State game. I've seen them in different parts during the season. This is a fantastic football team. I can't say I think the Arkansas game is an outlier. I think they were between quarterbacks and I think they were probably smelling themselves a little bit after beating, what was then a top 20 ranked team. But we can't forget this team had OU dead to rights, was up on Oklahoma State, and a pick six turned the game around. They're solid. I'm not going to say they're world beaters, but they're solid. And when you have a solid football team that has lost 2 straight, and they know if they lose another one, it's over. There's no way they can get to the Big 12 championship game. If they win them all, they still need help, but they have a chance because they get Baylor, they get Iowa State. So in my mind, I think that this is probably going to be one of the best games they play. We'll get the fight that they probably haven't shown at any other time outside of probably the OU game.
JJ, Bijan's the headliner. We all know that, and he'll play a significant role. I mean, on average, he's got 100 yards plus a game. He catches a couple passes as well. He scores in every game, so I'd expect all of that to probably take place this weekend as well. But Casey Thompson, what have been your thoughts on seeing him under the gun, seeing him throwing it downfield? You've seen what he can do. What kind of a challenge does the Baylor defense have from that standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, Casey, he, it's interesting. Coming in, I was surprised after I finally got to see him play. I can't believe he wasn't the day one starter. He may be a guy that plays better in the game than he does in practice. That happens. I used to do that. So that may be a deal, but I've seen him. He is a mobile guy. He can move, but he prefers to try to throw the ball first. So he's a guy that wants to work from the pocket, wants to throw if he has to move, but then he also hurts you with his legs. I like his deep ball. I think he throws an excellent deep ball. And even though he's a junior, he's still relatively inexperienced, although he's had a little bit of game action while Sam was there. But I like his overall game, and he's getting better, and this is the first year it's been his team, and he's playing well. I mean, the stats bear it out. I mean, he does have five INTs. In the Oklahoma State game, that pick six changed things, but Oklahoma State's a solid defensive football team, so that happens.
What are your thoughts about the off week as you come off such a critical win as far as playing a top 25 team? You're building momentum. You get the week off. Now, Texas did as well. How much does that play into to getting better, tweaking things, or would you rather have played this game last Saturday?
I'd rather play the last Saturday, and it's only because I think Baylor needed the week off. 7 games, they played really well. I think they needed a week off. I think UT needed a week off. I think it benefited UT more than it benefited Baylor because Baylor's on a roll. We're playing well, and I don't have any doubt that we'll continue that. We may be a little rusty, but UT will be as well. But UT, they have that extra week to just kind of work on stuff, try to regain a little bit of that zest, that mojo, kind of work between the ears. I think the work for them It's between the ears. It's not physical. So I would have rather played this last weekend only because we're playing UT this week. But nevertheless, both teams are in the same spot. I mean, they both are off. They both had those extra days, and they both should come in relatively healthy, and that's all you can ask this time of year.
Coach Aranda talked a little bit about shaking up their tendencies this week and making sure to keep it fresh. What do you expect that to really mean, especially when it comes on offense for Baylor? Because I thought the last 2 weeks they had shaken up their tendencies.
Well, and that's what I think. I just think what he's saying is they're going to keep doing what they've done I think last week against BYU, they were very intentional about changing up tendencies. Now, the one thing I think I heard one of his interviews he may be talking about is, when Abram Smith is in a game, they have a certain set of plays that they like to run, that they prefer, that they probably use at a higher rate. When Treston comes in, there's a package so I believe that what he's saying is that when certain personnel are in, they'll change the tendency there. So maybe Abram Smith is in more on, passing downs, they'll throw a pass in that situation. So that I see the use of personnel, because that sometimes signals to teams, Abram's in the backfield. Here's the set. These are the 4 likely plays we're about to see. So I think he'll shake up that a little bit. That allows them to have a few tendency breakers. But I think against BYU, Coach Grimes was very intentional. That game plan was probably the best game plan I've seen here in several years. Probably since Bryles was here. It was an excellent game plan, and it bore the fruit.
JJ, there's not a lot of weaknesses to really poke through with Baylor. I mean, the secondary, there were some big chunk plays against BYU, but, I mean, you look at a lot of those plays, and the coverage was actually pretty good. It's just, great plays being made by Nakua and others. So, I mean, what kind of a concern do you have entering this game in terms of Sarkisian and the Texas offense? I think the fact they've got 2 weeks to prepare is kind of daunting because of what he can do and plan for. But are you worried about or maybe not worried, maybe that's too strong a word. Are you concerned about the secondary? Where do you kind of look as far as that goes?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. I think, college coaches, football coaches, forget college coaches, are notorious. They plagiarize, man. That's only illegal in school, right? They're going to watch tape, they're going to copy, they're going to plagiarize. And until you stop it, Oklahoma State had, their good receiver, I forget his name. I forget his name, the Oklahoma State receiver.
Yeah.
He had a great day. What did he have? 6 for 101, 110 and a touchdown. He made some nice Moss catches. Last week we saw, the receiver, I'm forgetting his name too.
Nakua, yeah.
Thank you, Nakua. All those names, man, I'll tell you. Nakua. But, I mean, he just didn't matter who we put on him. It could have been Raleigh. It could have been Barnes. It could have been, Al. I mean, he was just mossing us, really. So, they have, Joshua Moore, his stats aren't going to jump off the page and kill you and make you think, oh, wow, he's great. Even Xavier Worthy, the freshman, they go deep. I mean, when I've seen them on occasion, I mean, those guys are running deep. And they're going to do it. I'm telling you now they're going to do it. And they're going to do it. And they're going to do it because they feel like that's the way we attack this defense. So if I'm them, and I've said this, I wrote it on Second 365, my article, I said, look, Joshua Moore is 6'1". That doesn't seem like much, but he's a long 6'1". There's a different 6'1". He's long, his arms are long, his legs are long, and you have a quarterback that throws a really good deep ball. If he gets matched up against Raleigh, and it's no knock against Raleigh, they will go at him. So coach has to make a decision with Bijan Robinson in the backfield. Do I take Christian or JT out of the run game play and make sure I have some help over there? But they'll shoot it. And these guys have shown that they'll take chunks and they'll get chunks. And if they start chunk playing this is the kind of team that the score would be 28 points in the first half if they do what BYU did. BYU guys wasn't going to run away from us. Right. These guys will.
Yeah. No, I think you're right, JJ. And they do love to throw it deep. And last year they hit a play. It was not a long pass, but it turned into a catch and run with, I think it was Black. Whoever it was caught a pass over the middle and then went another 30 or 40. But, yeah, that's what I would do. They like to be able to get Bijan off going what he thinks. But I think that they will with Worthy and and what you mentioned with Moore and others. Yeah.
I mean, well, and others. I mean, that's the question about Texas is who are the others, because it really is. It's Xavier Worthy, it's Joshua Moore, and it's Bijan Robinson as far as their receivers go. So I would be surprised if somebody else, we see emerge maybe a little bit this weekend. But I think you're right, JJ, about Raleigh. I don't know how you can turn on that BYU tape and not go after him after what you saw. Just not that he's a bad player by any means, but just he struggled, and it was very clear. But, like you said, so did a lot of other guys against Puka Nacua. So we will see on that front.
Yeah, and it's not. I mean, I hate to do it. I mean, it's big time football, and it's not a knock because Raleigh is a top corner. But if you ask me, and this is just outside looking in, just as an analyst looking, Raleigh, if he gets a chance at the next level, I don't know Raleigh's speed, I know his size, and if he gets a chance at the next level, and I think he should get maybe free or something, it'll be as a nickel corner, it'll be as an inside guy. The NFL didn't put in a lot of 5'8", 5'9" guys on the edge, right? Mm-hmm. So if I'm just thinking, to me, and you don't see many colleges do this, to me, it's matchups. Football is about matchups. That's why some teams you play well, others you struggle against, and people say, well, why is they got to beat by the other team by 20? How did you barely beat them? It's the matchup. So if I got a chance to match up accordingly, Raleigh is one of my top corners, would be on any slot guy, because slot guys are hard to cover, and any guy that's not 6'2" or tall. And then I got two 6'2", I got a 6'2" corner, 6'1" corner, Kalen and Al, and they do pretty decent in coverage. I'm not going to lose the fight just by genetics. I'm not going to do that. So I'm just thinking big picture. When we see OU, when we see UT, we see TCU has a couple tall edge guys. We got to be prepared. I'm hoping we're prepared for it, but it'll be a great contest.
JJ's talked a lot about height here. I'm going to go back to where he said there's different 6'1s, and if there's a short 6'1 or a stumpy 6'1, is there a place I can go to be that?
Yeah, one of those mirrors that stretches things up.
Yeah.
Hey, but Smoak, I mean, you've seen guys. Sometimes you see a guy.
Oh, no.
That's 6'1". There's two guys that are 6'1". Mm-hmm. And you'll see a guy that's 6'1", and his arms go down to his freaking knee.
Yeah.
Right? And when he reaches up, that's what I'm talking about, Joshua Moore. If you just turn on the tape, you'll see this guy, and you're like, he's only 6'1". He's like all legs and arms.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you'll see another guy that's 6'1", and he has average arms, and it's a difference, and a lot of it has to do with their length. And Joshua Moore, while a very small fellow, as far as 6'1", 168, he's not the big guy. He's a long 6'1".
I just want to be described as a long 5'8".
Wait a minute. What are you?
5'7" and a half.
Wait.
Yeah, exactly. 5'8" is a stretch.
5'8" is a stretch. I'm 5'8". I'm 5'8", like Kendall Wright was 6'1".
We are getting out the measuring tape as soon as this segment is over. It's over.
Yeah, y'all do that. Put that on film.
Hey, JJ, anything to the fact that this could be the last time that Texas ever plays in Waco?
No, not really. I mean, it's interesting. My personal opinion is that, they want to get out, and I think the Big 12 wants to move on. I think next year would be kind of quick.
Yep.
It'd be kind of quick for them. But I think if push comes to shove, they'll have one more season. I think we may see them one more time. I do think this will be the last time for a while that they come to Florida. McLean.
Yeah.
So, that's something. And, I think you don't have to get guys up for UT anyway. So Baylor guys are ready, and I know just in case they want to get a W. They don't want this to end up being the last one, and you don't want that on your ledger.
Thank you, JJ. Appreciate it. We'll see you Saturday. JJ Joe, former Baylor quarterback and also radio color analyst for Baylor Radio, and I love the fact he said Coach Taft was blaring that fight song, the Aggies and Longhorns, the week that they were preparing for those games. By the way, our segments with Baylor brought to you by Richard Carr, Buick GMC Cadillac, Baylor Bear Hotline, with JJ Joe. Appreciate his time with us on Sickle 365.